Well, there she is, folks. It looks pretty good. I not 100% satisfied. There's some things I just didn't really care for how they turned out. Um, the finish was very, very tricky. I don't have a clean room to do epoxy and paint in, and it's it's troublesome and problematic to work with epoxy to begin with. There's so many variables involved and so many things that could go wrong, and you get a finish that's screwed up and all full of bubbles or foggy or whatever. Um, so I think in the scheme of things, I might have, I definitely struggled there. I got some runs. I got where it pooled in the bottom. I spent lots of time babysitting it and scooping out extra as I poured the epoxy. But nonetheless, I still wound up with a bit that pooled up and hardened. So, uh, like I said, I learned quite a bit. The epoxy and the sanding is something I gotta have more practice on. Um, I I was really surprised at how you could sand the epoxy and actually sand away your luster, but also in same in the same token, um, once it's all sanded smooth and everything, it accepts a polish very well. So it's kind of interesting to work with. Certainly, it doesn't like heat. If you start sanding with a machine and it starts to heat up, you'll get pigtails and swirls and things. What I did here was I just used water and high grits sandpaper, probably 1,000. I started off with 600 and I went up to 1,000, but it did a really nice job in knocking down some of the high spots that were still left, but not eating into it and leaving me with all kinds of scrapes and gouges and stuff. So I really wish I had a mechanical sander that could do the inside much better than what I'm doing by hand, but it is what it is. Someday maybe we will have one. But so that's all I did. I did a couple sandings from 600 to 1,000 grit on both sides of the bowl, wet. I like to use the water because it just moves the debris off of what you're sanding, but then also helps lubricate and keep the epoxy cool. You don't, like I said, you don't want the epoxy to heat up while you're sanding. That's really bad. It just turns it back into gooiness, and it leaves all kinds of mess to the finish. But there she is. Still some more work to do on the polishing, but it's got a sheen on it now, and I think I'll bring it into the house and just polish it every so often until it gets a nice luster. Gigi is here with me.
I was trying.
Yeah, she's like, "Don't put me on there." So we're checking it out. It's a beautiful day outside right now, so we just thought we would. So yeah, I could definitely get that luster a little better.
My legs hurt. Really sticking on.
I used to say to my friend, I'd say, "Does your face hurt?" And he'd be like, "No." I'd be like, "It's killing me."
Oh my god, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
That's a good one though. My legs are long. Look, I can literally go almost at the end of the seats and touch my toes still on the metal.
But yeah, it looks really sweet. I'm happy. I'm gonna take some pictures.